And we're back.
More geeks like us. We're on to week number 16. Speaking of 16, we're one shy of that for the number of comics we're going to review this week. So
yep. I know we keep doing this. That's okay.
The money.
Yeah, the money we get for this. Yeah, it sure is.
Eventually,
you're getting mugged in the parking lot.
No money.
Wow. Anyway,
I'm staying out of the parking lot.
You afraid he might get abducted by aliens?
Or shanked by you two, but yeah, aliens. That's a good segue.
You could end up on the X-Files.
The X-Files. That's what they're talking about. The X-Files, number 0 from Wildstorm Comics.
I wonder how many hits we're going to get off people looking for porn. Hopefully not very many.
Well, if I don't put triple X-Files.
No kidding. Anyway.
What do you guys think about the X-Files?
I've never seen the TV show.
Depraved.
But after reading this comic, and I asked you, is the comic, or is the TV show like the comic we just read? And you said it is. Knowing that, I am kind of interested to go back and actually watch the TV shows. Go to rent them or whatever. I think it's pretty good. I never watched any of the shows, and while this was fairly well written, I still don't care enough to go and watch the X-Files. I don't care about Mulder and Scully or Mulholland and Skanky or whatever their names are. It just... I mean, it was a good story, it was a good read, but it's not anything where I was like at the end, yeah, I gotta pick up another one.
Yeah. Well, it was like I was telling you, Nathan. The book was very much reminiscent of an old episode. You've got the supernatural happening, and then at the end, somebody comes in and screws up everything, so there's no evidence left, and no way to know if it was really supernatural or if it was all just normal stuff.
Three things I did want to touch on. One, I've grabbed about this before. The artwork in this one, for it, it looking like it has to look like the actors who played the parts. They did a great job.
All throughout the book.
It looked like them through the whole book, which is a hard thing to do, to draw an actual person consistently. Great job. Two, like I said, I've never watched X-Files, and even I know that there was the constant, the guy's always like, it's supernatural, there's something more out there, and she's like, no, it's whatever, everything can be explained by science. I almost think, like, I've never watched the show, but I knew that much not having seen the show, just hearing about it. I almost think they were kind of pushing that too much to remind everybody in the comics, because the show's been off the air for how long?
5 years.
I don't know. Like, hey guys, remember? This is the thing again, remember. No, I don't believe science can explain everything. And then, at the end, with the paternity test, I just wanted to point out, I don't know if you noticed, I told Mike, the brand of the pregnancy test.
Yeah. The most technological advanced thing you'll ever pee on.
Was Prager's. That was the name. That was the brand name.
Well, it's one of those things where, most likely people that are going to pick up this comic are fans of the show, so I don't think they overemphasize that one thinks about science and one thinks about supernatural stuff. I don't think they did that at all, overemphasized it. I think... Like I said, I haven't seen it, but I'm assuming that's how the show was.
Also.
Yeah, I was going to say, so if that's how the show was and they're trying to stick true to the show, I'm assuming they did a great job.
It seemed like even somebody who didn't read it, it seemed like an unnecessary reminder. It seems like something you don't need to bring up all the time.
But here's the thing.
Know it.
If somebody hasn't seen it and is picking it up going, oh, I heard the show is good, maybe I'll pick up the comic. Haven't seen it like me, I haven't seen the show. But
don't understand.
Knowing that, now that I know how they work,
geek. I've not seen any X-Files.
I'm more of a sci-fi geek to Star Trek, Babylon 5, the actual true outer space science fiction shows, not X-Files.
This has some outer space stuff in it sometimes.
I don't really care about alien abduction, and I thought that's all the show was. I really did. So the fact that I wasn't big into alien stuff, alien abduction stories, that's why I never watched the show, because I thought that's what it was all about.
Generally, I think sci-fi's a turd.
Here's the thing about this comic. It's gonna go into number 0 leads into issue 1 coming out later this fall. These issues later this fall are going to tie into the show, kind of. They're going to be set between seasons 2 and season 5. So
interesting.
That's when the show is at its best. After that, the show just went downhill, sucked, chunks, whatever.
For it.
Yeah. So if you like the seasons 2 through 5 of the X-Files, pick up this comic, give it a shot. Next up, let's talk about Image Comics' War Heroes, a Mark Millar title.
Surprisingly enough, it's not a prequel to No Hero.
Yes, it is.
No, I was told by Mike it's not.
It's similar.
It seems like
it is. It's got half the same title. It's got the same story. It's got a little less.
It's not the exact same story.
Well, It's a prequel.
Pretty much.
It sets up. No.
The only real difference is apparently the prequel is set in present day, whereas before the history that is now the prequel that we're referring to from No Hero was set years ago. But they do that in comics. See, it's alternate universes and time travel. But
the only similarity is that superpowers are gained by drug use.
Yes.
These drugs are given by the U.S. government.
Which, oddly enough, with No Hero, I think the only reason he was able to do all that hyper-detailed artwork was because he was probably on meth. I've heard of people cleaning entire bathrooms with a toothbrush so you could eat off the floor when they're on meth long enough.
So if you're on meth and want to clean to that level of detail, come to my house.
So, that explains that. Drug use. Bam. Done.
So that's like saying Captain America is a prequel to War Heroes because, oh, it's a soldier and he's taking drugs and becoming a super soldier.
Where do you think they ripped it off from?
Well, alright. Sure.
No, I enjoyed this better than No Hero.
Was it because the artwork was
less psychedelic.
Because like I said, the artwork in No Hero was very good, really, really super detailed, but still really good. I just like the overall story in this one, and I know part of the story we talked about earlier today, about how the kid in the wheelchair and his family was like, no, don't go to war, don't go to war, we want you to go to school and everything.
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, and I'm like, if this kid is in a wheelchair, and I'm assuming he's been in the wheelchair like most of his life, or at least a good portion of it.
Then we went to that, so I know.
And this is his chance to do something and walk and do whatever.
See, I think
why would they not want that?
I think he must not have been in the wheelchair forever because I think there must have been an accident that put him there. That's why his family is trying to protect him again from another accident.
But it would fix him though. I mean,
yeah, but then it could put him into more dangerous circumstances.
Here's the big thing that I thought was like No Heroes. The reason we make the joke and everything. In No Heroes, they went on to. Okay, there's been adverse effects to this. You know, it really messes you up after a while. And you see the beginnings of that same idea here, you know, with the guy, he's home on leave, he's like, hey mom, hey dad, look, I picked the car up, yay, look. There's gonna be, I mean, you can tell reading it, they're setting it up, there's going to be a price to pay.
Wait a minute, this is issue 1 and it was like a setup issue?
Holy crap, that's almost like issue 0 connecting up with issue 1.
That's unheard of.
No way! Did they do that in comics?
When did they start doing
You're on drugs!
Anyway, no, I thought it was. Actually like this better than No Hero. I thought it was better written.
I did like it better than No Hero. I will say that. Not that No Hero was bad. It's just I don't want to say it was the artwork. This was just it flowed better.
Well, in a way, this being set more in the present gives more hope to the situation that our country is currently in. Like, you know, if our soldiers really had superpowers, maybe we could win a war.
You all have superpowers, and wait, we've read this in a comic somewhere before. We can make changes, not follow the same pattern they did, not make the mistake. Nah, we'll screw it up.
There's no ripping off in this comic. Obviously, both comics were made about the same time, so. Unless the two writers had tea or something. I think they're both from across the pond.
No. I thought it was pretty good, though. Overall.
It was.
Anyway.
Any other thoughts?
No.
Then let's move on.